Pareshar also with us, who is also from SRCC, and he will be guiding us throughout. So Aditya, let's start with you. So just walk us through what had been your journey, what had been your struggles, your hard work, and how did you, went ahead and topped all India and achieved rank number one when it came to commerce. So what are the tips and tricks? What had been your journey? So if you could walk us through that.
Okay. Thank you, Tushar, for the wonderful words. Like, I really don't think that I really deserve that. So, apart from that, I think that about this journey, Simran and I had a kind of a particular structure that we thought that we'll go through this entire thing, and we thought that we could either do it like subject by subject, but we thought that since there are a lot of diverse people inside this group, it does not make a lot of sense to choose particular subjects and do that. If people want, we could do it in the end, but we thought of a kind of a particular structure that we'll go through. Also, I know that a lot of students are coming here and thinking that this is class 12th boards. This is what our tuition teachers have been telling us like for the last 2 years, 1.5 years. Our teachers, our parents are guiding us throughout, and now these random two people come in and just telling about their experiences and how to top that. So we just think that we probably would like to we would add some value here, and over to Simran then.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one thing that all of us need to understand about board exams is that most of the times, and I think all of the times, there's a lot of talk going on around it, especially when you are in school. I mean, of course, since your board exams are approaching, it's all about boards. Family events revolve around boards, your vacations will revolve around boards, and everything will revolve around that one event that is to take place over a month. So I guess both of us from experience, we can say that it is best to not view it as one chunk of this entire big thing that is coming in your life, that is going to happen in a few days or in a few months. It is best to approach it piece by piece. It is best to approach it subject by subject, and it is best to break it down for your own good, for your own peace of mind. If you just keep on thinking, oh, May 2021, that is like the month when I have to be on my best, I have to be on my best performance, I have to be, the best at academics, I have to, just score 100 in all exams. If you keep thinking that way, you are bound to slip up somewhere, because all of us have like 5 or 6 subjects, and each subject is important. You cannot ignore any paper, any subject. And if you just keep on pinning it on that one month or on that, one paper that is going to happen, it is going to get very, very stressful over the entire year, since your prep does not start in, just before boards. It starts somewhere in your 11th, wherein you start getting used to the subject, wherein you start getting used to those new teachers who come in, and wherein you start understanding that, okay, this is something that I would want to pursue after my 12th, and this is the way to do it. This is the route to do it. So approach the entire process, take a look at the entire process piece by piece, subject by subject. I mean, if I break it down, in every subject, you have to study about 15 chapters throughout the year. So it's, about 15 chapters over a course of 10 to 11 months. Average it down, it's 1 point something something chapter a month per subject, if you break it down like that. So, I mean, it's not a lot. All of us have been going to school since so many years. We have given so many exams. Take it as just another exam, as just another process. That it's just that, okay, it's the end of the, it's the end of your the initial education that you will have. It is the end of your school life. So it is quite momentous in that way too. But I guess what I want to say is that approach the entire thing as a process and not as that one event in isolation. That will really help.
Adding on to that, the point of Simran here, I really think that whatever she mentioned about the process thing, that is what actually helped me in this process. If you think that I have like an accountancy in which I have to do like 300 questions, and it's like way too much, how do I pass this entry and that entry and XYZ? it just seems too difficult. But if you just think about it, that what I have to do, I just have to do one book, and उस एक बुक में से probably there are like 6 chapters. अगर मैं एक दिन में इतना time लगाऊंगा, so it does not seem like a lot. So it's a lot. Also depends upon how do you think about this thing. And I think once you break it down in your mind, ki nahi, I have to do. It's just 4 subjects I have to do. The entire thing seems much less scarier, and the workload still remains the same. It's just that in your mind you're thinking, nahi, ab kaam kam hai, and that is what could bring a lot of difference here. The Going on to the second thing, we thought that once you are in this entire boards, you have a lot of pressure from your parents. Don't do this, don't do that, don't talk to a lot of people, take this particular phone, don't take this, don't do this XYZ activity and all. But what we also feel is that it's really important when you look at boards, when you pass that process, you have time to analyze that, and you say, "Nahi, I did a lot of mistakes there. I did some problems there." So what really helped me in this process is to have something, to have kind of a go-to person. If you because you have to think about this, that class 11th and 12th is also an year in which a lot of transitions happen in your life too, be it while you're growing up, be it you get a crush on a girl, be it you get XYZ activities, you get a lot of different things going in your mind. And once you know that the board exam is coming, for me it has always been that the quality of study over the quantity of study. You probably have to just 15 subjects, and if you do just one subject on one particular day very nicely, you probably are prepared for boards. So just what you need to think about is that what I had this particular routine in my mind. I used to wake up at 7 a.m., go to the park every day, do cycling for 1.5 hours, come back, and in the evening I had this friend of mine in which we used to discuss our entire day, the problems that we had in this entire day, be it in terms of studies or be it in terms of any other activity, because it's completely normal to have these things at this point of time. But you also need to think that when you're taking that book in your hand and you're saying that now I need to study, you should not think about that this XYZ person said this thing to me in my class. How should I respond? So it's very important to have this outlet where you can let go of your stuff, so that when you are in that final stage, you know that nahi, ab karna hai. This is the moment that I have to do it, and that is how the quality of study really improves.
Yeah, I guess just adding on to Aditya's point, what we are trying to say is that we have been through the process. We were there about 3, 4 years back. And when I look back at it, and I'm pretty sure Aditya will agree with me on this, when we look back on this entire thing that we had going on for those 1.5 years, the kind of stress we took, it is not as, I mean, it was not as fruitful as I had thought. Taking that kind of stress does not make you a better performer in the boards. This is a realization which will only come after you go through that process. And that is why we thought it was very important to talk about it today, because people will tell you take it. I just said, that take it as just another exam, but we know that it is not just another exam. It is your entry ticket to maybe your dream college, and it is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. Your marks and everything are referred to again and again. When you will go for higher education, they'll again ask for it. So, but the important thing to understand is that don't just isolate it onto that one event, because see, I said that it marks the end of your school life. After your school, you are expected to grow up, even if you don't want to. I mean, once you enter college, once you leave home to go to college, or even if you go to college closer to home, you are expected to get a certain level of understanding and expected to grow up and be out there and okay, be a little bit professional, be a little bit more mature than you were while in school. So that entire thing is something which is happening simultaneously along with your study process, which a lot of us tend to ignore. If you like, so I have a sister who's going to write boards this year, and I have been through the process. Still, when I look at her and when I look at how the entire environment changes in the house when we talk about boards, it just becomes more serious and more and very grave. So take it as just another exam. What we mean by that is that the approach should be similar. If you put a lot of extra pressure on you, we having gone through that can guarantee that you will slip up somewhere. You have to be calm throughout the process to, be in that state wherein you know that you will not make an error. And even if you get baffled in the paper, you have to know that, okay, you can always move on and cover it. So it's a accumulation of a lot of things. So having that one person to go to and talk to is extremely important. That one person might be a parent, might be a teacher. I mean, most of the times we recommend that it should be a third person who is a little detached from your daily life, because they are the people who can view you objectively. People who are too close to you, they cannot tell you all the time that, okay, this is the best way to navigate the situation, you know so most of the times, I mean, when so that is how basically you should be choosing your mentors. Your mentor should be someone who is where you want to be in life, who has been through this entire process, and who knows you well enough to kind of objectively judge you and tell you that, okay, this is what you should be doing. And you should be having that kind of trust and compatibility between the two of you, that you can close your eyes and follow their advice to the letter. you know that is why having that one go-to person is extremely important, not just for boards, in life in general. Because as you grow up, as you go through college, there are 100 new issues that you are going to see, 100 new problems that you are going to face, and having that one person really really helps keep you grounded, keep you calm. You know and next, I think we thought that we would discuss a few last month preparation tips, or a few things which I think a lot of you might be, interested in knowing, that, okay, how do I keep myself calm, or how do I stick to a particular timetable, or how do I ensure that I'm not missing out on a subject. So, see, if I have to just summarize in 2 points what you should be focusing on. Number one is focus on all subjects. Do not ignore anything. If there is a subject that you have identified as weak, if you think that, okay, mathematics is something which requires me to work harder than the rest, work harder in mathematics as compared to the rest of the subjects. But that doesn't mean that you start ignoring business studies just because it's a more theoretical subject and you think you can handle it. Because these are the subjects which sometimes hit you with the most, with the biggest surprise in the paper. So focus on all subjects. Those of you who are specifically eyeing admissions in Delhi University, I would say focus a lot on English too. Getting a good score in English is extremely important, because that is one compulsory subject you have to include when you are going for admissions in Delhi University, right? Second point that I would like to tell you is that don't lose your social circle. Don't cut out your friends, don't cut out your cousins, and don't cut out your family members just because you were studying for boards. They are a huge part of your life. They define in a lot of ways who you are, especially when you are young. You are influenced by them, you are defined by them, and you are taught by them. So do not cut them out completely, thinking that, okay, this is just the time to study. Of course, it's the time to study. As Aditya said, you should have that constraints that, okay, if I'm giving a 4 hour sitting to mathematics, then in these 4 hours, I will not be checking my Facebook, I will not be checking my Insta feed, I will not be checking my phone, I'll not be thinking about, that one person in class I really like. But but उस 4 घंटे में what I have to do is just I have to be completing this chapter with the maximum possible concentration. That is what you should be focusing on. And as far as sticking to timetables is concerned, or taking your mock papers are concerned, take as many mocks as you can. But sometimes, I guess, what I have observed this year was that since classes were online, and since students are at home, it's difficult to get into the environment. But schools are opening up. If you can take mocks in an environment similar to a school, that would be best. I mean, basically, familiarize your body to that environment. And one thing I used to do was I used to take mocks exactly in the time slot when boards are conducted. So if a board exam happens from 10:30 to 1:30 and we are expected to be seated by 10, I would write my mock exam exactly in that time slot, so that my body is familiar. And we used to go to schools. So I mean, I used to be in my school sitting in that exact time slot and writing a board exam, it sounds like something which is not that important, or it's not that big, but if you do it for a month and a half, it will kind of, it will kind of grow on you. You'll not realize it, but you'll realize after your board exams that, okay, I was a little more at ease because I did that. So yeah, I mean, stick to a timetable, make a timetable, keep adequate water breaks, food breaks, and mental breaks. Have something to distract yourself for, say, 45 minutes an hour daily. But make yourself, I mean, it's just up to you. You have to make yourself disciplined enough to sit for that time frame and solve that question paper, or, do that. So yeah, and just the last tip is do a lot of mock papers. Do as many past year papers as you can. Do a lot of these mock papers, sample papers that the board will release. Do not skip that. Do it. Sometimes they have surprises, and those surprises translate into questions in the actual board exam. So do those mock papers for sure.
uh, I agree to a lot of points which Simran said, and but I have to add some more points here. I feel that we always ask this one question before our exams, कि मैंने बहुत पढ़ाई कर ली क्या? That yeah, is there still something remaining? So I guess the adequate point where you can say that I have done a lot of things is I always believed that you should never regret. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए that after you give your exams you say to yourself यार शायद थोड़ा सा और पढ़ लेता ना तो नंबर ज्यादा आ जाते. शायद वो जो शायद का वर्ड है ना, that if that thing थोड़ा सा कर लेता तो बात कुछ और होती. That shouldn't come in. If you think, and I feel that you shouldn't have excuses for yourself. Like a lot of people, a lot of times we have a lot of excuses. या घर पे शादी हो गई थी, घर पे ये प्रॉब्लम हो गया था, ये हो गया था चीज, and you have a lot of ample reasons. You have this COVID semester going on, and you can easily pin it on them that मम्मी मैं अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाई या नहीं कर पाया just because I wasn't able to see my friends. ठीक है, but the fact is that no matter what you do, always blame it on yourself. Never take it कि I could not do it because last exam वाले दिन पंखा खराब था. ठीक है, एंड वी टेंड टू डू दैट, वी टेंड टू फाइंड इजी वेज ऑफ नॉट डूइंग इट. अगर पढ़ाई का अगर सिस्टम रखना है, यू शुड हैव सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग दैट मैं तब तक आई वांट टू स्टडी टिल देन, जब तक प्रॉब्लम आए, जब तक आई फील दैट आई कुड नॉट से टू माई सेल्फ इन द एंड दैट शायद कुछ और कर सकता था. And like Simran said about social media and all, I know a lot of parents would be saying to you right now that 2 महीने रह गए social media छोड़ दो and stuff like that, and that's pretty normal. And a lot of people get bad phones in their class 12. They get this Nokia वाला छोटा वाला phone that in class 12 that they can just use for calling. I got my first phone just 3 months before the board exams. ठीक है, so I don't think that these things matter. It only matters that are you passionate enough? Do you think that I'll be able to do it? And similarly, what we also do a lot of in mock exams is that, for instance, you have this exam in which you need to use a calculator, which you cannot use, which the calculator makes your life easier. Say exam like accountancy, but you know the board exam does not give you a calculator, so don't use a calculator while doing your mock exams. You need to make that habit before getting in that exam that I can't use a calculator then. Because in the end, if you are doing your entire calculations using a calculator, and in an exam, if you are asked to calculate say 11% of some random figure, it is going to be difficult. It will take a lot of time, and you probably would slip in the end. Also, I had this thing in which I think myself that I make a lot of planned things. So whenever you are in this exam mode, what I used to do is, you must be having some sort of a notepad or say a notes app in your phone, something like that. So what you just do that is you jot down points every day. This is what I have to do when I wake up. This is what I need to do. So sometimes when you complete that, believe me, when you sleep and you're like, I completed all my check boxes for today. You're like, yes, this is what I had planned for today, and yes, it is complete. And believe me, that a little bit guilt if you're not able to complete it, at the end of the day, you'll find, yeah, आज रह गया, ठीक है, probably I have to do it the next day. And this is how I used to plan it for every day, similarly for every week, so that ऐसा ना हो that मैं एक दिन का plan करे जा रहा हूँ and I find in the end of the week that okay, I did my business studies properly. What about English? What about stuff like that? As Simran said, if you know you're weak in maths, know and study about maths more. I knew I was weak in English. I knew the biggest problem of me getting into a good DU college would be English. So I took this kind of a coaching, gave a lot of mock exams, basically got after my teacher that check my answer, so that they give me good advice on that answer. Apart from that, if you talk about the final few days before your exam, you will realize that we all have kind of a date schedule in which we get like 6 7 days, 8 days, 4 days, 5 days to prepare before an exam. And so you know that you have a lot of time to for final revision in general. In general, you cannot just say that I cannot finally revise something. But if you're thinking that I'll open the chapter for the first time in those 4 or 5 days, you're going to panic badly. So you need to just think about that. That is the time for revising, and you need to think about this fact that those 4 days do not define your preparation. Those 4 days do not define your final board outcomes. It is a constant process of what you are till now. The maths exam that you'll face, the English vocabulary that you'll face, is not those final 4 or 5 days. It's a combination of what you have been doing till now, and board exam just checks that. So if you're not able to study in the final day, don't panic that मेरी last day preparation रह गई. I remember before my first exam, I had my best friend coming to my house at 7 a.m. and he went till and we had a lot of fun till 11 p.m. in the evening. So that I just went the next day, slept, and gave my English exam, because it's not about that final one day. It's about how have you been preparing yourself for this process the entire time period, and not just that one day. So be systematic. Don't and biggest thing is that don't pin something on others. Don't pin something that I wasn't able to do it because of this. Because if you do that, you'll always have a regret. Because when if God sake you get you're in a good college, but if you don't, you'll always find that agar wo cheez nahi hoti na, that probably I would be in my dream college right now. Anyhow, boards is a very luck based process. You'll eventually find that when you get your marks and all that, a lot of things are random. So what you have at best is your basically the hard work that you can do, the smart work that you can do, and leave it the rest up everything to your luck. But don't, because if you have like if you are at a point where you say to yourself that I don't have to regret anything, so that luck factors, you can make peace with the fact that I was not able to do it because of luck, and not just lifelong pin it on yourself that I was not good enough. And that really matters, because class 12 is not end of life. It's just the beginning of another.
All right, great. So I think we've covered good points, Simran and Aditya. I would want to talk a little bit more specific, in terms of subjects. So अभी 5 subject होते हैं students के. We have business study, accountancy, economics is there, English is there, and one additional subject which might be maths, might not be maths. So can you guys cover these specific subjects in detail, that when you guys were preparing, so what is the strategy to crack BST? What is the strategy to crack English? What is the strategy to crack economics? I think one of you can take two and the other can take two. And I think you can give practical tips of how to break these subjects down.
So I'll do English and perhaps BST, and you do the other
Sure.
two.
Sure. Okay. So, sure, Aditya, start. Yeah.
So I think if you're planning for DU, you cannot neglect English. Unless you have an extra language subject as Hindi, which I didn't have. So I know that English is going to one exam, जो लगेगा ही लगेगा, जो final हमारे best 4 में तो join होगा ही होगा. So there's no point backing that out. I'm telling you, a lot of your teachers, a lot of you are just chilling right now in English. कि बचपन से English करी तो है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? ठीक है. एंड लाइक आई नो तो आप सबका सिलेबस भी काफी कम हो चुका है. हमारे टाइम तो नॉवल भी हुआ करती थी. So we had this novel thing and all that. So what I used to do I had this coaching for English, which I took like a test batch for English, in which what the strategy essentially is that you have to look at the exam, you need to give it a lot of times, and how do you approach it? You could make a strategy for that, because if you see, you have first 15 minutes for comprehension. First 15 minutes to comprehension, first 15 minutes in which you have a reading time, you cannot write anything. Don't be like adamant on the fact that I have to go for my reading section, my literature section first, my writing section first, because you know that you don't want to waste your 15 minutes. take those 15 minutes, read your first comprehension, be thorough by it, at least do it once, read it once, so that when you are coming to your exam, you are able to do it well. There are 3 hours. The ideal approach is 1 hour for each and every subject, each and every section. 1 hour for your comprehension. I don't know that we had 3 comprehensions. I guess you just have 2 comprehensions right now. So we had 3 comprehensions. So what we needed to do is that the first comprehension was completed in this XYZ time frame. The ideal time is if you have 2 comprehensions, 30 minutes for each. If you're note making, don't take note making as like it. All I have to do is like making points simpler. It takes time. It takes time to write a good note, and you would realize that out of all those 3 comprehensions or 2 comprehensions, one is above average. One is very easy, but one is above average. So you need to average your entire time out. So the best approach is right now take 50 minutes for each and every section, and the last half an hour should ideally be for your revising part. Now coming on to the writing section part, you have 4 sections. You have a small, right? I think it was for my time. It was like for 4 marks. You had a notice, you had a message, you had a poster or something like that. Don't go for a poster if you know you are pathetic at drawing. Don't go for a poster. It looks very fancy to draw that Diwali cracker. Does not make sense if you are not good at English. If you're not good at drawing, it will cut your marks. Go for something simpler like a notice, which you know will guarantee you short marks. There are a lot of different letters again. Practice each one of those letters. Almost a lot of these letters have a specific format. That if you're writing one for a curriculum vitae, you have a very simple format that write this, this, this. If you just follow that simple format, out of 6 marks, you're able to easily gain 3 marks. Easily gain 3 marks. And the rest 3 marks are all on your creative writing. And then coming on to the longer sections, if you have like article and speech coming on with you, I used to divide my entire section into introduction, causes, effects, and solutions. Do that entire approach. I guess the board marking scheme is built on this system. So that once you do your English, and this is what you can do. Coming on to the poem section and the literature section in the end, be thorough with your studies. And good people are very smart in some sense. What they can do is they can just take a single page of your entire textbook, write a question on 6 marks on that. And sometimes it is very taxing. And one biggest important point for me is when you see the first value-based question there, when you look at your board and you see a value-based question, circle it. You tend to miss the value-based question a lot of times, because you think that accountancy के बीच में value कहाँ से पूछ रहे हैं? What are the values that you learn? Just circle that entire thing twice, thrice, so that you don't miss out on that. You'll really feel bad if you miss out on this easy 3 marks. Coming on to the next BST, what I had as an approach in BST, I used to make notes for each and every page of my book, so that on the final day, I don't have to read the NCERT anymore. So what I used to do is I had this notes in my hand, and I used to study them. I wrote them handwritten so that I know what is there in each and every page of the book. So it's in some sense is a lot of effort, but if you look at it also, but I think the pattern has changed right now. They're thinking more on case studies rather than answers right now, which we had introduced, which it was introduced by us. So what you can do is look for sample papers, look for a lot of sample books, discuss it with your peers. It's not very difficult to crack these case studies if you have done the NCERT. I did not go for any.
Want to interrupt here. So lot of schools and lot of teachers have lot of different recommendations. कुछ teachers बोलते हैं that stick to only NCERT. कुछ teachers बोलते हैं do this mock paper. कुछ teachers बोलते हैं do this other book. So also please can you cover कि कौन सी book are the best ones and कौन से mock papers are the best one, and you solved that and can help others also.
So what I did is that I think that for business studies, NCERT is the Bible. Because ultimately if you choose any other book and write from that, board की जो marking scheme आएगी उसमें तो NCERT के points ही आएंगे. So all if you're thinking that I'll do XYZ practice book, so I'd not to take any practice book. So if I'm thinking like what is 5 steps of organizing perhaps, how do I do that? You have NCERT. NCERT is everything. No question about subjectivity would come outside NCERT. So it does not make any sense that you're thinking that मैं इस extra book को पढ़ लेता हूँ. It might make your life easier, but फिर वो life easier के साथ the marks भी lose हो जाए. And it does not make a lot of sense. Also for case studies, I had this book known as I think extra marks book थी. in which you had a lot of different case studies. Also, अगर आपके यहाँ पे थोड़ी बहुत कोई coachings and all चल रहे हैं, I'm not suggesting, I did not take coaching for BST, so मैं नहीं suggest करूँगा to take that. But for people who taking that extra coaching, if you can arrange for those case studies, so that you can look at those case studies, थोड़े mock papers देख लो, so that वो case studies का ना, for me that case study is all about getting that hang, that आपको you know how to solve those case studies. अब मुझे एक idea हो गया, because there are some lot of confusing concepts, decentralization, and I remember we had these two concepts which were very
Decentralization and delegation.
delegation,
The
very
6 mark
very close
question
concept.
that 6 mark question that came in our exam in our year.
A lot of people got it wrong because it's a very very small difference between those two, and you can only get it if you are reading the book throughout, you're getting a hang of the case studies. So do whatever book you want, I won't say कि नहीं करो, but write your answers from NCERT. पढ़ लो, समझने के लिए जो करना है करो, but once you're doing for exams, do it NCERT.
All right,
Yeah.
great. Good. Simran, if you could cover accountancy and economics very quickly because we are very short on time. So
Yeah,
practical tips
absolutely.
and tricks.
Okay, so see for accountancy, general trend क्या होता है कि हमें लगता है कि accountancy में तो कहीं से भी question आ सकता है, तो हम लोग 5 books उठा लेते हैं. We'll try to do it T.S. Grewal also. We'll try to do an RS. We have like a lot of authors, and I'm slipping the names of a few. I'm pretty sure that people know what authors I'm talking about. But we'll pick up these 5 books and we'll do all of it. Personally, I would not recommend that approach because it is also something that I did not do. So accountancy में क्या है ना, just like वैसे it's not as if it would seem like it, but actually there's just this one base that you have to build on, and then you have to go out and solve a lot of papers and practice. Because accountancy में the thing is mix and match can happen a lot, you know. This entry from that chapter will come into this question, or this question can be modified a little bit this way and it will become a completely new question. This is what happens a lot in accountancy. So see, for preparation, I did just one book. My school used to go with T.S. Grewal. So I did T.S. Grewal from like beginning to the end, each and every illustration handwritten by me. Like I used to write the solution properly, because see, boards mein one thing is, it's not just about studying, it's also about how you write your paper. तो पेपर लिखना आना, प्रेजेंट करना आंसर्स को बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. सो दिस इज समथिंग विच योर टीचर्स विल वर्क ऑन बेस्ट विद यू, कि क्योंकि दोज आर दी पीपल हु नो बोर्ड मार्किंग स्कीम्स में क्या होता है और कैसे चेकिंग होती है, चेकर्स क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं उनको पता होता है. सो आस्क देम एग्जैक्टली हाउ यू वांट, हाउ द checkers expect the answers to be written. This I'm talking about the subjective subjects, like business studies and all. Accountancy mein, so I did this one book beginning to end, everything properly, did it, asked my doubts, did it once in school and then once when I used to go for my practice exams in school. Uske baad I used to take coaching for accounts, and even my school teacher, he used to make a lot of assignments. A lot of this mixing and matching is something that he would do, and give us newer questions, newer patterns, and newer assignments to try. And accountancy में I would recommend this because this happened with our batch. हम हमेशा वो admission of a partner वाले chapter में हमें हमेशा लगता है वो 4 accounts बनाने को आएंगे. In our year we got ledger journal entries. So we did not have that luxury of making those accounts and checking कि ठीक है यहाँ से balance sheet match हो गई, मतलब मेरा आंसर तो सही है. और जर्नल एंट्रीज में ऐसा बहुत बार होता है कि कभी कभी एक ही कैलकुलेशन के लिए 2 जर्नल एंट्रीज पास करनी होती हैं और हम भूल जाते हैं क्योंकि हमने प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया है. सो आवर टीचर मेड श्योर दैट आई वाज प्रैक्टिसिंग ईच एंड एवरी क्वेश्चन इन एवरी पॉसिबल पैटर्न, एंड ट्राई एंड आस्क योर टीचर्स टू मेक लेंदी पेपर्स. मतलब so that in case you get a lengthy paper, you are not baffled and you are able to handle it. So that is it for accounts. Take one book, do it beginning to the end. It will cover everything. All these books, they have been in the market for so many decades. They cover everything, and then just go on to practice papers, right? For economics, I guess pattern काफी change हो गया है from our year. I think you guys have Indian economics and macro now. Macro के लिए first thing is understand the concept very well. National income में हम क्या क्यों कर रहे हैं, किस फॉर्मूला में क्या ऐड हो रहा है, क्या माइनस क्यों हो रहा है, ये जो कॉन्सेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, अगर ये कॉन्क्रीट है, you will be able to solve any numerical in the paper. And macroeconomics is a little more numerical than theoretical in the papers, as you might have seen in the past years as well. So do that. I mean, build your concepts very concretely for macro. ADAS वाले चैप्टर में और जो भी चैप्टर्स आ रहे हैं, आई गेस कुछ माइनस भी हो गए होंगे इस साल, तो build your concepts extremely well, and then same solve mock papers. One thing that I used to do was true and false बहुत गलत होते थे मेरे, and true and false used to come for 2 marks. So one wrong true and false is straight away minus 2 marks. So I asked my teacher कि एक true and false specific paper बना दो. So एक 60 marks का paper just with true and false questions, you know, just so that I get, you know, exposed to every kind of question and I get the hang of it. So ये आप कर सकते हो कि once you identify your weak areas, and people who are writing boards this year, I'm pretty sure you know what your weak areas are, work on those more. For Indian Eco, I guess a lot of people would tell you to stick to one book. उसी के statistics याद करने हैं और उसी के major statistics याद करने हैं, और theory कैसे लिखनी है, work on it with your teachers. That exactly how do you want us to present an Indian Eco answer. I guess they will be the best people to answer it, because we didn't have it in our boards. So I don't want to confuse anyone by saying anything.
All right. So I think one last question from my end, and then anybody in the audience can, you know, raise their hand and can ask question. So one last thing is that a lot of students are afraid of maths. They have maths. Couple of them don't have maths. तो उनको हमेशा डर लगता है maths कैसे करें, maths पे ध्यान दें या ना दें, क्योंकि हमारा maths वैसे भी अच्छा नहीं हो रहा है. So हम maths को छोड़ के बाकी चारों पे ध्यान दें या फिर maths को भी साथ साथ लेके चलें. So if you guys can cover very quickly कि maths को कैसे deal करें and how can you take care of maths also.
Yeah, I guess I'll take this one because I was this one student who was scared of maths. I still am. I did economics honors, which is a mathematical and a statistical degree. Still, I'm scared of maths. So, see, my fear used to come from the fact कि जो मैंने करा है वो पेपर में नहीं आएगा, कुछ और ही आ जाएगा and मुझसे handle नहीं होगा. How to tackle this is, see, when your teachers are doing, people in 11th, mainly for you because you will be going through this entire process very soon, and people also in 12th, when this thing happens, you know, when teachers are doing a chapter in class, साथ साथ में be regular with your homework. Like my teachers were very sure, very, you know, keen on this part कि अगर आज हम ये concept पढ़ा रहे हैं तो इसकी 2 exercises homework में देंगे और कुछ examples भी देंगे. तो वो अच्छे से solve करो. कितना भी मन करे solution देखने का, solution नहीं देखना है. अगर तुमने solution देखा, you are jeopardizing your own chance of solving that question, which is the key to building your confidence in maths. जब वो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व होता है ना अपने आप, दैट इज व्हाट विल बिल्ड योर कॉन्फिडेंस एंड दैट इज व्हाट विल हेल्प यू ओवरकम योर फियर ऑफ मैथ्स. सो द थिंग इज, डू एवरीथिंग ऑन योर ओन, बी रेगुलर विद योर होमवर्क. जब स्कूल में फर्स्ट राउंड ऑफ प्रैक्टिस एग्जाम्स होता है तो स्टिक टू योर एनसीईआरटी. देखो एनसीईआरटी, अगेन एनसीईआरटी इज द बेस. बोर्ड्स का पेपर सेट एनसीईआरटी के बेसिस पे ही होता है. आप कितना मर्जी आर डी शर्मा और आर एस अग्रवाल करो, इट इज जस्ट फॉर योर ओन प्रैक्टिस एंड एक्सपोजर. बोर्ड्स विल नॉट एक्सपेक्ट यू टू डू दैट लेवल, like, you know. So it's just so that you can get used to those tricky questions. So do your NCERT very well, do each and every question and example very well. Then how to proceed is take topic test. मतलब अगर आज relation and function और एक छोटा चैप्टर ले लो, inverse trigonometric functions अगर खत्म हुआ है, आज मेरा प्रैक्टिस हो गया एनसीईआरटी से, आई एम थरो विद माई एग्जाम्पल्स एंड एक्सरसाइज, आई विल टेक वन टेस्ट फॉर दीज बोथ टॉपिक्स, I will get the score and I will analyze. Then I will move on to the next topic and then keep on mixing these topics. Start with 1 or 2, go to add 1 or 2 more chapters, go to 3 or 4, then add 1 or 2 more chapters, go to 5 or 6 chapters का एक टेस्ट. मतलब what I'm trying to say, सीधा जाके पूरे सब्जेक्ट का मॉक मत दे देना. That is something that didn't work for me. What worked for me was कि एक एक चैप्टर किया, उसका टेस्ट दिया, उसमें चैप्टर्स ऐड करे, फिर हाफ सिलेबस तक I went. I did the other half separately, mixed all of it, then started giving full papers. उससे you will not be baffled by any new question and तुम्हारा identification strong हो जाएगा कि ठीक है ये question इसी तरीके से solve होगा क्योंकि ये इस part of the syllabus से है. That is how I tackled maths, and that is how I think you should too. Like if you are afraid of maths, if you are not, you're sorted.
All
Then
right.
it's fine.
Aditya, what is your stand? How did you crack it?
So I have a very different approach from Simran. So I could say that I had this privilege of being good at maths and from the very beginning. So I had this thing that I wasn't afraid of maths, and teacher made sure that that wasn't the case. So what I don't believe that if you are doing like something like integration by parts, it does not make sense to do 40 questions. It does not make sense to do by parts के 40 क्वेश्चन करो and then you come to say partial derivative उसके 40 क्वेश्चन करो. You'll probably spend your entire life doing questions for integration. What I used to do is take any two random questions, do that, लिख लिए एक बारी, ये sync हो गया. And what I used to do, even my final exams, I'm not the kind of guy, even till today, I'm not the kind of guy who just solves each and every question again and again. And like Simran said, you should not look at the solution. I just look at the solution and say, "Acha, is तरीके से होगा." I'll do it in the final exams. So I think what is more important in maths is you shouldn't be afraid by different variants of a question. You should be just knowing that okay, partial derivative है, and अगर if you think that by parts है, what I have to do, I have to follow that I-late rule है, वही follow करना है. And ultimately I-late में जिस तरह से different variants आएंगे, I will be able to manage that. And that I know that comes to a lot of practice and a lot of different mocks वगैरह देकर आएगा. But I don't think that solving 100 questions of one particular topic makes a lot of sense. I legit did not spend a lot of time on my mathematics. I don't know, that sounds like an elitist perspective or what, but I did not spend a lot of time on my mathematics.
All right, great, good. So we are opening the floor for question answers from the audience. So all the students who are due to, take their test in May, you can ask questions. We'll start with Mudit Singhvi. Shubham, if you could help me unmute Mudit and allow him. Yes, Mudit.
Yes, please go ahead.
Good morning, sir, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful session. I wanted to ask that this time our maths is totally changed. For commerce and humanities, we are having applied maths, and for this applied maths, we don't have a sole book. Like NCERT is not yet published for this math. So this math. So there are number of publishers of this math. So how should we tackle this?
So I'll answer that. So basically, if you're looking at a subject that we haven't studied, so I do not know that what comes under applied maths. It probably would be some. If you could give me a little bit perspective about what is applied maths, I might be able to help you there.
Applied maths is basically everything like quantitative aptitude, mathematical reasoning, coding, decoding, blood relations. We are covering almost everything in this, which comes in entrance exam of BBA, MBA, and other commerce related entrance exams. So we are covering almost everything like straight line, circles, everything.
So I really don't think that Simran and I did study this thing in our class 12 boards. So probably wouldn't be the best people to give you an answer on how to go for applied maths. Whatever you mentioned about straight line circles, we did do some concepts in class 11th. So I could probably say that we had some things, but I don't think that about logical reasoning, blood relations, and all. So I don't think that we could provide you the right guidance for this.
Yeah. And in case you are
Thank-
wondering what kind of papers you will be getting, I guess board releases sample papers. And as I said, take them as a guide because a lot of time the kind of questions that are there in the sample papers, they kind of get repeated in some manner or another in the actual exam. So attempt those well in time and discuss those with your teachers well in time so that you know that you are solving the papers correctly. That is one thing I think we can tell you, and this goes for all subjects, by the way. Since pattern is changing this year, look out for those sample papers.
All right, great. So we only have a couple of more minutes, and I think one or more two questions. So Sachin, if you want to ask your question, and Aditya and Simran, please try to wrap it up in a minute if possible.
Yeah.
Yes, Sachin, go ahead.
Hi, my question is particularly to Simran ma'am. So I want to pursue economics honors. So how can I, how to go about when you're specifically targeting SRCC to get into DU for economics honors?
See, the entry ticket is simply your board exam marks. So I would say just ensure that you are scoring very well on your boards. All the tips and tricks that we mentioned apply as is. So as Aditya said, don't ignore English, don't ignore your economics, and of course, I guess you can try and maximize on mathematics and accounts, because these are papers in which scoring 100 is easier than in the subjective papers. So just try and ensure that in your mocks you are exposed to all different kind of questions and you are getting the maximum possible score, so as to maximize your chances of getting a very good board exam result, because that is what will get you into SRCC. I mean, there is no other way. So that is what will help you.
All
Right.
right.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Gauravi, if you want to go ahead. Yes, Gauravi.
You are on mute, Gauravi, in case you are speaking.
All right. I think we are not able to connect with her. We will talk to Akshat. Akshat. Akshat Gandhi.
Morning. My question is that it is better to study like that one subject for 2 days, 3 days, or for a whole week, or to divide the day into two, three subjects for 2 to 3 hours. What is better?
So what I take this one. So what I did was that you just mix and match the difficult subjects with the easier ones. So what you do is that if you think that you find maths very difficult, you do one chapter of maths and you think that okay मेरा हो गया मैं इससे ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकता. You probably would want to practice some questions of say accountancy which you think that repetitive है practice के लिए करने हैं. So just don't spend a lot of अपना दिमाग इतना मत खर्च देना एक दिन में and you're like कि अगले 3 दिन के लिए मेरा काम हो गया. Just plan it accordingly, and like if you're thinking that just mix and match whatever you find difficult and whatever you find easy. You may have it, like it also depends upon day by day depend करता है. But if you think that अगर आज in general में करना है, English is your easy subject, take English mixed with maths so that you don't find both of them difficult.
All right, great. I believe a lot of other students will have a lot of other doubts. In case you have doubts, please visit commerceclave.com and there you can register and fill the form. And all the questions would be answered by the mentors who are on the call and a lot of other mentors that are there. And you can also solve queries and questions on a peer-to-peer basis. So you definitely can do that if your question was unanswered or if you have any other questions in the future. I would want to thank Aditya and Simran for their time and such a wonderful session. I believe it was productive for everybody. Thank you, Simran, and thank you, Aditya, and thank you,
Thank you
Shubham.
for having us, Tushar.
Thank you for
It was
having
a
us.
pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Bye bye, everyone. All the best for your board exams, and you guys can move on to the next session, which is regarding CA and career as a chartered accountant in India. All the best.
All the
All the
best,
best to
guys. Do
everyone.
well.